Welcome to Looking at Legal Stuff. Today we have a small claims hearing with a couple who say they're suing their ex-employee after they say they helped her buy a new cell phone so she could do her job properly, but then she quit after only making a couple of small payments. The former employee claims that she's sure she paid the phone off, and she claims she even got a text from the phone company telling her that the phone was fully paid off. Whose claims will the judge believe? Let's find out.
All right. Hello to both parties. If you could please stay muted, or actually, I guess you can unmute us. And Mr. Holland, if you could unmute as well. Mr. Holland, please unmute and turn on your video feed.
Okay, can you hear me?
And do you have video feed, please?
On video? Okay, I'm trying to get there.
That's okay.
There we go.
Perfect, thank you. So I'm assuming, is this Raynell Brooks with you as well?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay, so hello to both parties. We're here in cause T5S000054. We have Peter Holland and Raynell Brooks plaintiffs. So we have, is it Larry or Larry? How do you pronounce that?
It's Larry.
Larry Lauren as the defendant. So we are here today for trial. So I'm going to go over a little bit of the basics before we begin. So how it's going to start is Mr. Holland, you or Ms. Brooks can go first with your testimony because you're the plaintiffs in this matter. I do have the exhibits that were submitted in front of me. So I will just ask you that when you are talking about your side of the story, to please refer to exhibits and let me find them with you so I can look through them if you need me to during the actual trial. Okay. And then if you have any witnesses that you wish to call on your behalf, you can call them and I will listen to their side as well. When you're done with your case, then we'll ask Ms. Lauren, it'll be your turn to offer a rebuttal. I'll listen to your side. Once again, you can call witnesses as well if you have anyone that you need to call on your behalf. Because the plaintiffs did file this matter, they'll have a short amount of time to offer a final rebuttal to end this matter. I just ask that during this trial that only I am addressed, that not you guys don't address each other. Sometimes it can get a little contentious. I just want to. Can you hear me?
Better.
We can hear you better now.
I don't know what you touched, but
It's
yeah.
better.
I just brought a microphone next to me, so I
There we go.
apologize. It was a little bit further away. Can you do I need to repeat anything?
No.
Okay, so I'm sorry. I didn't realize that it wasn't next to me. I just don't want it to be contentious. I just want to get to the bottom of this and just resolve it as best as we can.
Yes, ma'am.
During the trial, I apologize. I might interject with just some questions so I can get to the bottom of things and figure it out on my side as well. So then at the end, I can offer a judgment on this case. Okay. Miss Lauren as well, I have your exhibits as well. So if you need me to refer to anything, I have them right here in front of me. So please just tell me where to look. Okay. So, Mr. Holland, Miss Brooks, who's going to go first? Who's going to speak on your side first?
Miss Brooks.
Okay. All right, Miss Brooks. So if you could please raise your right hand. Thank you. Do you swear to tell the whole truth during this proceeding?
Yes, I do.
Could you please state your full name and then spell your last name for the record?
Raynell May Brooks. Brooks is BROOKS.
Perfect. Thank you. Please begin with your testimony.
There's so much stuff that's gone on since she has stopped paying payments. One thing that is very upsetting is she's gone on social media and slandered by name my business, my name, and Shamrock, which is Peter Holland.
And all we try to do is help her.
It's, all we've tried to do is help her. That's why we got her this phone. She swore up and down that she would make payments every month. And well, she made the first 3 months of the payment, and I think it was like $150. But the late fees, and then she added a second line, so the bill went up.
She added another line onto it.
Yeah, because there was another line added.
So I apologize to interrupt. Let's start from the very, very beginning. So Miss Lauren is an ex-employee of yours, correct?
She was an apprentice,
She
not
was-
an employee.
She was an
Okay.
apprentice.
She was an apprentice, and
Oh, employee.
you decided to purchase a phone for her as your apprentice, correct?
Her phone was all mangled and broken up.
Okay.
And in order to do a really good job in tattooing and imagery and drawings and stuff, you got to have a good workable phone.
Okay. So you went and got an iPhone 16 from AT&T, correct?
Yes, yes.
They
Okay.
did together, yeah.
Okay. Because we just need to start from the beginning. So you got an iPhone 16 from AT&T, and was the phone purchased outright, or was it that she had to pay for the line plus
Make-
On
the-
my name, all on my name,
Make payments
on my line, on my phone bill.
on Shamrock Peter Holland's bill.
Because she had no credit. She had robbed AT&T for $700 before, but we didn't know that until after the fact.
Okay. So
Yeah, that outstanding bill.
with
okay, so
AT&T.
you on your account ended up purchasing an iPhone 16 and adding a line to it, and this was for your apprentice at that time, Miss Lauren. Okay. So was there just a verbal agreement that she would pay it off monthly, or how was this decided that she would pay what monthly?
She would make it monthly payments.
She verbally agreed, but we did sign all the papers at AT&T.
Okay. So monthly payments, do you know how much she was supposed to pay a month about?
About
I heard-
180, about 180 a month, something like that.
Okay.
Almost 200, but
Because it was for the iPhone, the iPad, and the iWatch. We got all three for her, a bundle deal. That way she'd be on time to work. She got her watch. We got her an iPad so she could do all her designs and all her business and everything on it. And we got her the phone so she could do her videos and social media. And we trained her in everything with social media, tattooing, and everything.
Why
What?
are you only requesting an iPhone 16? Did you get the iPad and iWatch back?
yes.
Yeah, we got those back.
The owner of 360 Tattoo, her name is Christine. I also put one of the papers that's to you and to Lurin, a paper saying that she got the iPad back for us and tried to talk to Lurie to do the right thing.
And transfer the bill over to herself.
And because it's not good, because she left us.
Was big bill,
the-
$1,600 bill.
Yeah, and then went over to 360 and started working for Christine. And I told Christine, what was going on, and she got the iPad and the iWatch back.
Yeah, Christine, the owner took it. She took it.
So Mr. Holland, I apologize. I just haven't sworn you in, so I
Okay.
can't really
Oh,
have
okay.
you offer
All right.
statements. It's just
All right, I won't say nothing.
because-
You're right. I'll back up. I got
No,
you.
no, it's fine. I appreciate it. I just want everything to be correct on the record. I want everything to
Okay.
be, able to be used. So I just want to say that at this time, let me just ask Miss Brooks, and if you have anything, maybe whisper it to her. You just can't say it out.
Okay.
So, all right. So please continue. I mean, and I understand that there might be a lot of animosity or just stuff that happened that's really icky and not great, but all I can do as a court system is offer you reimbursement financially. So I just want to reiterate, all we're here for is please tell me information about this iPhone, because everything else I can't do anything about that. My hands are tied. I apologize. So please tell me, when she started work, when she stopped work there, like, was there an agreement that she would keep paying for it, or
Yes.
what happened?
Yes.
Just tell me about the
When,
phone,
when
please.
she left, we agreed that she would still make payments
Okay.
because she needed the phone. I wished her good luck, no hard feelings.
Okay.
And then when we got the bill, we had a bill of,
Okay.
that's an outrageous phone bill to pay
Every month we're having.
every month. It's
Okay.
an $800 phone bill because she messed the billing up and the late fees and oh my goodness. But she shows here on, her proof that you have,
Uh-huh.
she got $490 from AT&T.
Because,
She traded the phone in, our phone,
I know.
brand new. And now she, doesn't have a bill other
Stuff.
than just the service bill. So it's not crazy like ours.
And she did all that on my line.
And she did it all on
Peter's.
Peter Holland's line. and used his credit.
Without me even being there.
Okay,
He
Mr.
wasn't
Holland, just wait up a second, sir. Yeah, I'll let you speak in a second. Okay, so
Okay.
I'm confused. So she took your phone
Mhm.
and she
Into
just traded it
AT&T.
in. Did she trade it in for another phone or
Yep.
what happened?
Yes, she downgraded so she wouldn't have a crazy expensive bill.
Okay.
So
Okay.
she got right here. It shows you. She shows the receipt, $490 on that receipt
Okay.
that she got toward this other phone that she
It
traded.
looks like it's an iPhone 13, 128 gigabytes for $400.
Yeah. So now she doesn't have a bill. And now we have, this crazy bill each month.
Why haven't you guys just taken her off?
We did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we did. If you look in the notes, all the text messages and stuff, every single one of them I sent to you and to her to reiterate what happened. I'm not lying in any way, shape, or form. I just want to get this phone taken care of and we can move on. It makes me really sad that I cannot help human beings anymore. I really can't. Can't trust anybody because then they stick you, with this craziness.
I guess I'm just trying to, can you please tell me how you arrived at the $1,599.93? How did you get to that value?
One phone, one iPad, and the iWatch. And then she added another phone. I believe it was her boyfriend's phone, another line on it. So that made that bill more than what Shamrock's phone bill was. Hers was higher than his phone bill.
Okay. Okay. But you got the iPad and iWatch back, right? So
Right. And we had
why-
to sell that. We tried to trade it back in, and the company said, no, we'll only give you $1 for it.
So we got stuck with it.
So we got stuck with it. So we went and sold that and paid, not last month, but the month before, phone bill with that.
Okay.
Until we could get to court and figure this mess out.
Okay. Can you just tell me how you got to the $1,599.93? Like, what is the breakdown on that? How did you get that value? Is there a breakdown? Like what's going into it? I just need to know what I'm awarding in that.
It's the total payment of the phone, the iPad, and the watch.
Okay. Where do you
It
have
was a
that
bundle.
bill?
It was a bundle deal.
Do you have that bill? Where's the bill that
In
walks
the,
me through
in
this?
the first papers that I filed,
1 second. Let me try
They
to.
wrote that down. It was written down.
we went into AT&T
Supervisor.
and the supervisor wrote it down
See it.
Okay.
because I explained to him what was going on and that we were,
Make sure she sees it.
we were going to take her to court.
Down.
And he said, well, this is the amount that you need to sue her for. And so this is his. And I sent this to you.
Okay, well, it says here $266.63 for the watch, $444.43 for the iPad, and then it says $1,599.93 for the iPhone. So the amount is only for the iPhone, though. You said watch and iPad.
Yeah.
That's what's confusing to me because that's not what you wrote down. You're just saying iPhone, but then you're saying that this amount is inclusive of an iPad and an iWatch.
Just the phone. See, he circled just.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I see that.
Right.
It's just the statement that you're making is different from what's being requested. So that's why it's
Oh, I'm
getting
sorry.
Yeah, we're
confusing.
supposed to get like 2,000. We're supposed to be requesting the total amount, which would be the phone.
Mr. Holland, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you swear to tell the whole truth during this proceeding?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Peter Joseph Holland Jr., Holland.
Thank you, sir. Now you can speak because I hear you talking all the time. So the $1,599.93, is that just for an iPhone or is that also for a line? Is it for what?
That's just for the iPhone. And the reason being because we got the iPad and the iWatch back. So we had to sell it to pay off my little phone bill last month. But so that's what's outstanding. The whole iPhone, she took the whole iPhone, which is a brand new 16, and it costs $1,599, which is $1,600.
Okay. And then she used it and then turned it in for credit for 400 and
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
whatever.
Because,
Okay.
90.
yeah, she was having problems not making it to work, problems with the kids. So we gave her some time off. And while the time off, she went and got a job at another studio. And at the other studio, she had the iPhone, the watch, and the iPad. And we talked to the owner of the studio, and the owner took the iPad and the iWatch from her, and she wouldn't give the phone to her. So the owner gave us the watch and the iPad back, but she took the phone back to AT&T without me, and she traded in her phone, the brand new iPhone, on my bill without me even being there. She traded in for a lesser phone from $1,500 down to $400, so she wouldn't have to pay any bill, but all the bill got stuck on my bill because she knew what she was doing, because she had did it before with AT&T. They said, well, the reason she couldn't get nothing before because AT&T said she had an outstanding bill for $799. She ran off with their phone the first time.
Okay.
And I didn't know this until afterwards, after we had already gotten into it.
Okay. So I understand. So the amount you're requesting is just for the physical phone.
Yes, $15.99,
Okay.
93 cents.
All right. Well,
And we don't wish her no harm. We really tried to help her get her life together. We gave her a phone, a watch, an iPad, a job to help her get her business together, and that's where we left off at. We have no ill will. We're not trying to take nothing from her.
Just do the right thing.
Yeah, we're just trying to be honest, abiding citizens, law abiding citizens, and do
Okay.
the right thing.
Do you have any witnesses that you wish to call for this or anything additional that you wish to state?
No.
Okay. So now I'm going to ask, I'm sorry, I heard you saying it's not Lauren, it's like Lauren. What's your last name, ma'am?
My last name is Lauren. My first name is Lurie.
Okay, so it is Lauren. I was pronouncing it correctly.
Yeah, that's my last name.
Okay, perfect. I'm going to address you by your last name. So Miss Lauren, I'm going to give you a chance now for your testimony. If you could please raise your right hand. Do you swear to tell the truth during this proceeding?
Yes, Your Honor.
Can you please spell your full name and, I'm sorry, can you state your full name and spell your last name for the record?
Lorelyn Lauren, Loren.
Okay, thank you. Could you please go ahead with your testimony?
First, I don't even know where to begin. There was multiple lies in their testimony. They knew I couldn't get that kind of phone and that kind of bundle through my credit because that was first spoken about when we did it. I did not add another line. I can't add another line because I was not a person I wasn't, what's the word, added to the account like that. I didn't have the authority to be able to add a line. My fiance has his own phone and it's actually through the state. So he has it, like the phone itself is a state phone. He doesn't have another phone. I can't add a line. I did trade in the phone. Yes. I got a text before I traded in the phone and I put that in my documents that my phone was paid off. Peter contacted me freaking out on me when I was 3 days late. My phone bill was $150 every month and I paid it on time, except for that one time because I was working and I had been working all day long. And by the time I got off, they were closed. So when he contacted me, I was actually at work. I left work to go deal with this situation. I traded in the phone because I got told that I was allowed to do so. Themselves. And then not only that, he's kept harassing me, kept freaking out on me. I did willingly give the iPad and the watch to Christina, the owner of 360 Tattoo. She didn't have to take it from me. I willingly did that. That was never a problem. I didn't want problems with them. He asked me to get off the phone bill, and I did. So from what I knew, I had every right to do it. I had the text saying that my phone was paid off, so I didn't know any of that. So, and then me giving back the iPad and the iWatch, I did that willingly. I have not slandered them on Facebook. They have slandered me plenty. I keep getting screenshots constantly from other people slandering me for them or them slandering me. Peter has been posting videos of me on his story, get that sent to me constantly. And finally, after being tired of it, I did speak up with my truth of the situation because I got tired of the harassment, which I was getting harassed by random people due to these posts talking badly about me, saying that I've threatened them, I'm a thief.
Okay. Miss Lauren, so like I said to Miss Brooks, I apologize for anything that may be going outside of maybe happening from this situation. Unfortunately, I am a court that can only offer monetary reimbursement. So I'm sorry that happens. I can't, character stuff doesn't really affect the value of this phone.
So from what I knew, my phone was paid off. I got that text. That's what I was told. I didn't turn in my phone until March. I think it was the 3rd. And so that was days after I got that text. And I'm also trying to do the right thing. I gave them their stuff back willingly. I got off his plan like he asked me to. It was the only way I could. They knew that I couldn't transfer it over like that. So I did the only thing I could do.
Okay. So they go and get you a phone. It's your statement that you paid it off in monthly increments of $150. When you paid it all off based on this text message that you got on February 28th, you thought that you had paid it off, and so that made the phone yours.
Yes, that's what I was aware of. So I traded it in when Peter started calling me, freaking out on me because I was 3 days late on my bill. I paid the bill, and then he said, I want you off. And I said, but I just paid the bill. And so I got off anyways after he was freaking out on me. He freaked out on the AT&T representative that was helping me. I had him on speaker. It was a very embarrassing situation. But from what I knew, the phone was paid off.
And you said that Mr. Holland had told you, hey, once it's paid off, go ahead and sell it.
No, once it's paid off, it was mine to do as I please. That's what I got told. But he wanted me off his plan. It was the only way for me to get off his plan was to trade it in and get on a prepaid plan. It was the only option I had. AT&T told me that, so I did that. And they didn't buy it outright. I was the only one that ever paid any money on that until I traded it in.
When did you trade it in for this new phone? I just can't see the date on the receipt.
I believe it was March 3rd. It was, it was March 3rd. It was around 1 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon that I went in.
Okay.
And AT&T also told me I had the right to be able to turn it in. So I truly thought that I was in the right, and they told me it was the only way to get off his plan. That if I wanted off his plan another way, it had to be using my credit, and I didn't have enough credit to do that. So I did the only way possible.
Instant transfer.
What is this? What is this that you sent me? The AT&T.com total of $625.49. What is this?
That's the amount that I've been like paying off. And that's the amounts that I've paid. They posted it up on Facebook slandering me, and I grabbed it to use proof of me paying stuff off. So that way you could see that it was me paying for the iPhone, the iPad, and the watch, and that they specifically were not paying on that.
It's a little confusing to me. I don't see how anyone's paying. I just see a total.
It was confusing to me as well, but I wanted to use it to prove to you that it says my name, says that I was paying. I was just meaning it as a way for you to see I was the one paying on those devices. And again, I can't add a line if I'm not an authorized user, and I was not an authorized user to add or change anything on the account.
I do believe you. I think that you can't just add lines unless you are added to the account. I believe that. I know that that's how that works as a, cell phone holder myself. So, okay. I get that. Do you have anything else to say?
I just want all of this to stop. I want them to just leave me alone. I want to live in peace. I'm sorry that they feel that I did them wrong. I thought I was doing the only thing that I could to get off the plan like they wanted me to. They knew I didn't have the credit to do that the other way. So I did what I thought was best. And I also thought the phone was paid off. So I got told that they weren't going to get smacked with anything by the AT&T representative. And his name is Josh. I remember him. He even gave me his personal number if I had any other issues with them, but I've never contacted him because honestly, it's not worth it.
Well, are you aware what they got smacked with?
No, not until they just told me that apparently they have an $800 bill. I wasn't aware of anything. They never told me. They never calmly contacted me saying, hey, this is what's going on. Like, can you please help me make this right? I've only been slandered and harassed. And so I didn't know. AT&T told me they wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I got the text that my phone was paid off.
Okay.
Was authorized to, like, I had the right to be able to trade my phone, get off the plan, like he wanted me to go.
Okay. So here's the issue. $1,599.93 is the cost of a new phone. I don't think that anyone denies that Miss Lauren made some payments. She made some payments. I even see in the text messages you sent, like, hey, you know, I think it's Miss Brooks, maybe you're talking to her. You're like, hey, you didn't make this payment. You need to go make it. She says she's working. I read through the text. So there must have been some payments made to the phone. So I guess I'm a little bit confused why you're asking for the full value of the phone when Miss Lauren was paying some payments towards the phone. Maybe not.
She only made 3
She
payments.
made 3 payments.
That's not true. That amount on there shows you.
And when she made them, she only made half partial payment. She only paid $150 out of like $190 or $180 what the actual bill was.
My phone bill was $150. That's what they told
Hey,
me.
we're talking to me only, not to each other.
No, I'm talking to you. They told me that my phone bill, specifically my portion, was $150 at AT&T, and that's what I paid every month. And I had that phone in November or October. It was October. It was November. I think it was the end of October. And I had been paying $150 every month up until
We got the phone November 4th.
Last 150 was March 3rd.
Okay, so you from October
to March 3rd.
Okay, if you paid from October to March 3rd, saying those dates are correct, you said end of October. So essentially your first bill might be in November.
I paid $260 out first at the end of October.
Okay, so if you paid $260 and then you say that you pay $150 about each month, correct, after that? Okay, so let's just use your dates. You paid $260 in October, and then it's November, December, February,
January, right? January.
Sorry, October, November, December, January, February, March. So 5 months. So 5 months of $150. So if we do, my goodness, where's my calculator? I apologize. Let me just grab my calculator. If we do, so Ms. Lauren, if what you're saying is true, if we do 260 plus 150 times 5, that only equals $1,010 and your phone wouldn't have been paid off because not only are you paying for the line, you're also paying for the phone. So how was your phone paid off if you only paid until March?
I don't know. I didn't even know that was the total of the phone. I got the text saying that my phone was paid off. And then when they caused the problem and I asked to get how I can get off his plan, they told me that that was the only way and that he wouldn't get a bill for the phone. So I truly thought my phone was paid off because of the text and because of what the AT&T representative was telling me.
So Ms. Brooks, Mr. Holland, what do you have to say about this text saying, congratulations, your phone is paid off? Where is this coming from, you guys believe?
Don't know.
We've never even seen that.
I gave it to you all as documents, Your Honor.
But the whole point was I didn't say I wanted her off my bill. I said I wanted a peaceful transfer from my bill to her own bill.
That's so true.
Okay.
And she didn't transfer the bill over to her bill. She stuck me with the bill and traded the phone in and got a whole nother phone. She downgraded so she can keep the phone and not have to pay anything. But the bill, the downgrade that left all the leftover, everything got stuck on my bill.
Mhm.
She knew exactly what she was doing because she did this to AT&T before.
Well, okay, so I'm just telling you, my issue is I understand you guys are out of phone. I really do. My problem is you guys are requesting the full value of the phone, right?
That's
But
because we're having to pay the full value.
okay, can you explain to me how are you having to pay the full value? I'm sorry, I just really want to be fair.
Well, these total charges and the late charges
Yeah, plus she
all
was,
added up. And this is
Sorry, I
the
can't- I
last
can't.
bill that
Did
we
you submit
received.
that for me in
No,
evidence?
I just got this one in the
Okay.
mail. So there was no way that I could get it to you.
Okay.
we just got today, actually.
But yeah, with all the late charges, they just ping you so hard, with the Apple Watch, the iPad, and the phone.
And she was late on every payment, and it made me have to pay an extra $40 on each item.
Your
So
Honor,
his bill's like a little over $800 a month in order to keep his phone.
And all I have is one phone when I buy out my stuff. I'm still paying for all her stuff.
And so we just want to come to some agreement, where this can be taken care of, that her part,
So based on the bills you're getting, her phone was not paid off before she traded it in?
No.
She traded it in to get it paid off. And when she traded it in, all that extra bill got stuck on mine. She stuck me with everything. She knew because we asked her to peacefully transfer her bill, my bill, off of mine over to hers. I didn't say get off my bill. I said transfer your bill over to your own. And they
Okay.
said they would do that, but she wouldn't go in with me. We waited at AT&T and she would never come there.
Okay, so based on your statement, she traded in the phone so that the remaining balance of 490 would be taken off, right? So
Right,
the
yeah.
phone value.
Went
Okay.
on to her new phone.
And then
her new
she
phone.
went and got a phone for $400. How does that?
The
How
new
does
phone
that-
they gave her, the $400 phone they gave her, they took it off of they charged my bill for that. They charged me for that $400.
Okay.
Off of the phone that she traded in was on my phone. I had to pay the whole $1,600. So the phone she traded in to get whatever knocked off, it all went back onto my bill. I had to pay for all. I didn't trade nothing, I didn't get nothing.
You would think AT&T, since they got their phone back, but no, they even made the whole situation worse.
'Cause we had a
Do you
contract.
understand what I'm explaining? So
I'm listening to you. Uh-huh.
she took our phone in, traded it in for $490 for her own so she can get off our account. But then it stuck us with the whole bill owed.
Yeah, so like
the phone, the iPad, and the watch.
Like $700 or $800 on
That's-
the iPhone 11 or 13 that she got. We paid for all that. The phone that she traded in and got, we ended up getting billed for that.
you can't get billed.
And the bill, in order to keep it standing, this is what we have to pay by tomorrow.
Or my phone gets turned off.
Yeah,
I can't pay it.
his phone gets shut off
All I did was try to help her
tomorrow.
tattoo and make some money and take care of her kids.
Can you see that,
I did nothing bad.
Pam?
Yeah, I can. I'm just confused. If she's not on the line anymore.
Because when she transferred her phone, when she turned the phone in and got a new phone, it was all on my account. That new phone she got, I got charged for it.
But
The old-
okay, I get it, sir. I really do. But I'm just intuitively, if you get a credit for $409 and then you would buy a phone for $400, how can you get charged if you only have?
She
would have a
used
credit
that
for
phone for
$90.
credit.
She had a $1,600 phone. It's very
Okay.
simple. She took the whole brand new iPhone 16, went and traded it in. It's on my bill now. She traded it in, got a brand new iPhone 13. That was $1,000. That $1,000 I got charged for it. The
That's weird. It
remaining,
says that they only charged her $400 and she had a $490 credit.
Well, I got charged for all of it.
That 490, here, let me
It
explain.
was on the iPhone 16 that I got.
490 went on to her new phone that she got from them.
It went toward paying for
It
the
went,
new phone.
it went for
Yeah.
her phone.
Yeah. Yep.
We didn't receive any deduction of $490 on this bill. She got it all.
Okay. That makes sense. So then wouldn't she owe you $490, not $1,599.93? Because, or are you saying that she still owed more money on the phone? It's just that's what they would have offered her for trade-in value.
That's just a
Right.
trade-in value.
Yeah, it knocked off all the bill toward her, but it stuck me with the bill.
I get what you're saying. I really do. But it's just, it seems so convoluted. I just don't understand how if they given trade-in credit for $490 that you all of a sudden get hit with the full iPhone value.
I know.
I do. I get what you're saying. It's just intuitively, it just does not make sense. If I have a phone,
Right.
I go to turn it in, even though maybe I had a value associated with it, and they're like, oh, we'll give you $490 for it. And then
And then
instead I
she-
go buy a $400 phone. I understand that you're not getting the $490 credit. She is, but then I don't understand how all of a sudden $1,599.93 is going to be charged to you if I just traded in my phone for a $490 credit. That's what gets confusing to me. I don't think AT&T can do that. They just gave you a value for a phone.
And ma'am, I got to fax this off. I talked to headquarters and they wanted me to write out what's going on. And this Josh employee at AT&T that got into Peter's account, don't say anything. He was not supposed to do that. She was supposed to have Peter there for them to do anything on this account. So I'm
Yeah.
filing a report on the employee and the AT&T store
Okay.
because it's all illegal what they have done.
They did it all without me being there.
Yeah, and I have.
I can't
the
see that,
report.
ma'am. I'm not gonna, yeah.
Okay, but anyways, I'm gonna fax this off to their home office.
She had something personal going on with the guy Josh, and he did everything for her without me being there. But I was supposed to be there.
Your Honor, I never met Josh before in my life. That was the first time I've ever interacted with him, so I had nothing personal going on. I'm getting married in a month. I definitely nothing like that.
Okay. So here's what gets confusing. So Miss Lauren, I hear your testimony, but the months you said you had your phone and made those payments, you could not have paid off the phone in full.
And I see that because I didn't know the total price. I got the text. I thought it was paid off. But after seeing what they showed, the breakdown, I do feel bad. And I don't know how that mistake happened. I don't know why I received that text. I don't know why, if I wasn't allowed to trade it in, they would allow me to do so. But I can't just give them a phone back that I don't have anymore. I do feel bad. If I would have known that that was the case, I would have found a different way, or I would have just returned everything, but they still would have been stuck with the bill.
Well, you can give them a phone back. It's called paying for a new one, which is what they're here for today.
Well, I paid off a lot of it, and I don't see how it would be fair to pay for a whole brand new phone when
And that's where my issue is. Do you understand that, Ms.
Yeah.
Brooks and Mr. Holland? Like I hear your side. I think that there's a little bit of an interesting situation that a phone was traded in for $490. So I think absolutely you probably need $490 back, but I'm trying to get to the whole $1,599.93 because that is the cost of a brand new phone. But Miss Lauren did make at least some payments on it. So the cost of it must have gone down. Sorry, go ahead. 3 payments.
I was gonna say she said October, but we got the phone November 4th.
Okay.
The day that
Do
we
you
went November
do
4th.
you have in front of you with all the, because you're able to access the accounts, the payments that were made towards that phone while she had it? Do you have those values?
Yes, the ones that I sent in
So you sent it. So I have them in front of me. Okay, so she got the phone November 4th. So I have the thing from the AT&T gentleman, and then my first document that I have says issue date January 28th, 2025. So what were the payments from November until then?
She was just paying the 150.
She was only paying like 150 out of the bill was like 180 something, but she was only paying partial.
And then
And I didn't find it out until 3 months later.
the late charges started occurring.
Yeah, every month she waited late to pay the bill, so there was late charges each month too.
So it got bigger and bigger as, the months went by.
Okay, can you just tell me how much she paid? Because I see a January 28th statement, and that's all I see. I just see the pages of a January 28th statement. Can you just tell me, do you have the statement from November when the phone was turned on? Do you have the statement from December when she made a payment? Do you have any of that information?
December 29th to January 28th.
Okay, what was the payment? Did she make any payment there? It would say at the top, it would say account activity payments.
All from January to February.
Yeah, she was right. Let's see. January 28th.
274.
After, let's see, balance remaining.
Oh.
Let's see. Finance was 300.
Where's the actual payment for the bill? Maybe at the end.
Did you get
There it is. 369. So it'll show my bill and then it should show hers. Hers was 126.77.
No, that's yours.
Okay. All right, that's her name right there.
I see 104.68.
Yeah, 104.68. That's what we're looking at.
And I see 53.85.
Right. That's all she paid was partial. The bill was like almost $200, but she was only paying like 104.53, something like that. She wasn't paying the whole bill. She left me stuck with the bill.
So looking at this, so the 369.48, is that supposed to be her whole bill?
No, that's my bill. I have to pay that because she wouldn't trade the phone in. She wouldn't go with me to AT&T and trade the bill to her. She for 3 months she dodged me and left me, stuck me with all these bills. And then she finally traded the phone in, then I gave up after that. So I had to go to court from day one.
I understand, sir. What I'm trying to say is how much a month did she pay? I need that actual value. So I see there's 369.48.
She paid
how much of this did she pay?
She paid 104 on that bill.
Yeah, it was 104.68.
Okay, so January 28th, she paid 104.68. How much did she pay in December? Is that the same amount?
I'm gonna see if I can, while you're still on here, I'm gonna see if I can go to my AT&T app. If I have it. If I can get in here.
Miss Lauren, do you have the breakdowns? Where are your receipts showing how much you paid?
I am looking for them right now.
I think the bigger situation is where's your proof that you actually paid monthly for them?
I didn't keep my receipts, to be honest with you. So, but I paid 150 every month, and I know I did because.
Well, let's just go with the 150 because I think that's fair.
Are you aware that your phone was actually from November 4th?
Yeah, I have memory problems, and I couldn't remember if it was the end of December or the beginning of November.
All right.
And you're saying that you paid through March, and Mr. Holland and Miss Brooks are saying you only paid 3 months. So November, December, January.
Not true. I paid every single month. March was my last payment. I tried paying it because he was freaking out because I was late. I paid it, and then he told me he wanted me off his plan. So I did that. after paying for the bill. Right after paying for the bill. And then I had to, it was actually a really big mess.
Okay, because I do see the text messages saying March 3rd. So Miss Brooks, this is you telling her that she needs to pay, so she must have paid in March as well, correct?
Right, yes.
Okay, so, and it says, I need you to pay your, this is you, Miss Brooks, I need you to pay your bill or else I'm gonna shut it off here in an hour. Shamrock, who's Mr. Holland. Okay, so it seems like this was the first.
That was the first incident where I was late.
And we had to go
Well,
in.
that can't be true because when I'm looking at this bill that's provided from AT&T from January 28th, it says late fee $8.
I paid on the 1st every month, which
Yep.
was when I got told that it needed to be paid. He told me the 1st every month. That was the first time I had to pay on the 3rd because I was working.
Okay.
I'm looking at all of them and I don't see a $8 late fee. But
Why did you say that you paid $260?
that's what I
Okay.
first paid when we had to get the phone, the iPad, and the watch. That is what I paid completely to get the service and all of it set up.
Okay, is that anything that you're contending, Miss Brooks, Mr. Holland? Does she pay $260?
Yeah, she paid it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say November she pays $260, and then so pretty much it's that amount that I calculated. She paid $260 in November.
That was the
But
setup.
ma'am,
That was the setup fee.
Those are setup. That's not the phone. That's for service, setup fees. That's not for the actual device.
Yeah.
It was the first payment of the device as well.
How
Yeah,
much is
but
it?
the-
How much
the
is the
whole-
payment for the device?
It was $260 total. That included everything in the beginning, the service, and I don't think that they do a setup fee. That's the activation fee.
Yeah.
Well, how
Oh.
much is the payment? So 150, it seems like that's your actual fee to have service. How much is it that you're paying towards your phone each month?
Nothing.
150 was each month after the 260 to get the service, the activation fee, which was
Okay.
only $35, and then my service was $60. So the rest of that was towards everything else. The 260 was towards everything else. The activation fee for AT&T is $35, and then the service was I'm pretty sure it was a $60.
Okay, so it says here, January 28th, Apple 128 gigabytes, and this is in January, so I think Apple 128 gigabytes must refer to the iPhone 16. And it says here, installment 3 of 36, so that's $27.78. That seems how much it's costing you a month for the phone. Is that correct?
I'm gonna assume so. Those kind of things confuse the heck out of me, so I never understood what they all meant.
Is your phone ending in 9930? Was it?
It was.
Okay, so it looks like your monthly bill was actually $104.68.
Okay, well, I paid $150 every month.
Okay, and then in January, it says balance remaining after current installment, $916.65. In March, you went and traded in your phone. If you owe $916, this is on your bill that was provided.
All of me, or if that's all of us included? Because he also got an iPhone, an iPad, and a watch.
It says Apple 128 gigabytes, so it's
Okay.
only one phone, only one
Okay.
phone. So in January 28th, the issue date, balance remaining after current installment was $916.65. So did you pay $916.65 before March?
No, I never had access to any of that either.
Okay.
And
So there's no way you would have received a text saying that your phone's
I have that text. All of my texts from my previous phone even transferred to this new phone. I still have that text from my old phone. I screenshotted that before I traded in that phone.
okay. Miss Brooks, so did she cut off her service in March? When did she cut off I'm trying to like figure this out. When did she stop being associated with your phone? When did she disconnect from you? And
March 3rd.
March 3rd. So, okay. So March 3rd, and that's when she went and traded in her phone, got the new phone. Okay. So do you have the bill for February in front of you? It should say issue date February on top.
That's January.
I have January 28th on this
Oh,
one.
that's
That's what I have. Do you have February or March?
I don't think so. No, I have this, this is what they printed out at AT&T when we were down there.
Mr. Holland, were you able to get onto your,
No,
No.
but the
No.
AT&T, they wrote right here.
yeah, but that's not, so see, my issue is,
That's what she should have been paying each month is $199.62.
Yeah, that's what she's supposed
That's
to
what
pay.
AT&T told us.
It shows-
We went down there.
okay.
That was the actual bill she was supposed to pay, but she wasn't paying the full $199.62, and I was getting stuck with all the extra that she wasn't paying.
I
She only paid
understand.
like 104 and
150.
150. She paid about 150.
My issue is you guys are asking for the reimbursement of the phone, right? The phone.
Yes.
I'm trying to get to how much was owed still on the phone after any payments that Miss Lauren made. So the closest I have right now is this January bill that you have provided that says that balance remaining on the Apple 12 128 gigabyte is $916.55. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes
That is the value of the phone minus any payments that Miss Lauren has made
right.
up
Right.
until January. So that's why I wanted to know, do you have February to tell me when she was still attached to your account? What was the value of the
Let me
phone
go
at
grab
that point?
1 second.
That's why I'm asking that.
Okay.
Your Honor, I believe it was around 600, if my calculations are correct.
So you're saying that in 1 month from February to March, you paid about $300.
I paid 150 each month.
Well,
So
if you paid 150 each month, then it would be 916 minus 150, not the 300, which you just stated, because you said it'd be around 600.
if that was for January, I
Yeah.
paid in February, and then I paid 150 in March.
Well, in March 3rd, you were already off their line, so there's no
I-
way you would have paid.
I paid the bill, and then he told me to get off his line. So I traded the phone in after paying the 150.
This
Okay.
is February's right here.
Yep. And
Okay.
I paid the $300.
Okay, can you please go to the Apple 128 gigabyte that specifically says phone ending in 9930 for Larry Lauren? Is that, but that's the bill, ma'am. I'm asking for how much is owed on the phone. So if you go, it should be about page 6 of 7. Do you have 7? However, it should be towards the end.
Yes. Like this, yeah.
Is that Miss Lauren's portion?
Is this one hers?
I know this is hers right here.
Okay, let me show you what I'm looking for.
in
So
March, so
it should look something like this. I'm sorry here. It should say, gosh, it's a little blurry. Let me see if I can hold it up there. So it should say Miss Lauren Lurie. It should say her phone number right here. And
Right.
it should lay out that she owes about $369.48, the total for the wireless. And in the corner, it should say how much is still balance remaining after current
that's all of it
installment.
right there for Lauren. The 28 gigabyte.
So balance remaining,
Just
where's the balance remaining?
but that's her name, so maybe it's on here
So it
somewhere.
should say like established on November 6th. So it actually, your phone was set up on November 6th, not the 4th. And then it says balance remaining after current installment. How much is still owed on the phone?
Apple 64 gigabytes. Is that the
No.
one?
No, that's
hers
not
is
her
on
phone.
28.
120.
Her name is on there because it's right there. Marie Lauren. So
Is it maybe on the next page or something? I don't know. It should say,
maybe.
That's 307.
And the back, with the back to it.
yeah, is there a it should say Apple 128 gigabytes on the right side. It should say the
What's this?
serial number associated with
I
it.
see 1,199.99.
All right, well, let's see if we can find her phone. The 3390 phone, or
Yeah, I see 1,199.99.
but that's for Apple 256 GB.
That's a different phone.
That's different.
Oh,
All right, so see how it says this? We're looking for the one that says 128 right here. I can see them now, but just give me one
Yeah.
second.
That's fine. I just need to know what the amount is on the
There it
February.
That's it right here. All right, it's 916. All right, I got you right, perfect right here.
yeah.
Please hold it up. Okay, great. So, oh, it's a little blurry. Go back. So, okay, November 6th. So it's, is this, what does it say on the top? Can I see what it says on the top? Like on the very top right corner of the right corner. Not
Up
where
here?
it says AT&T. Yes, right. No, keep going up, right up. See in the corner, it says the date.
Okay, right
Yeah.
here.
Yes, thank you, sir. I just need to see what it says. It says, but that's the bill I have. Do you have a February bill, sir? That's the,
That's January.
yeah, I need
Uh,
February.
All right, I see what you mean.
Is that it over there?
That's what I'm trying to find.
This
I'm
is
trying to
March.
see
These are
the,
March. I didn't know that bill said January. All these say March right here.
that's okay. If there's one that says March, that's even better.
Okay, let me see.
Yeah,
I'll find it.
that one just came.
All right.
Now that you sort of see what I'm looking
Oh,
for.
yeah, I see what you mean now. Yeah.
Because
Okay.
it tells you how much her phone is still worth at that time before she.
Oh, okay.
trades
Yeah,
it
yeah,
in.
yeah. Right now, I'm still paying off 861. I got exactly what you need right there.
Okay, so 861, thank you. And how much, and what, 861 and what?
861 is what I'm paying on her devices.
Okay,
The
is
bill.
there any cents associated with that or just
Oh, it's
861?
$861.09
Okay, perfect.
right there.
And is that a March or a February bill? I see that, thank you.
That's March.
Perfect, so that's, and okay. Well, that explains it.
Right, that's the
So,
number you were looking for, exactly.
okay, so the amount that you would receive for the phone, 861.09, plus the trade-in value that she got value for, which was, how much was that trade-in value? So when you went in March, Miss
400.
Lauren, your phone was not even close to paid off. You still had $861.09 on it.
She knew all that.
Okay, well, I don't know how AT&T sent me that text, but
Maybe because you were, well, I don't even know how you would receive that text because you weren't associated with their line. There's no way that they should be sending you an authorized user.
I got text about my bill being due and stuff like that, but I
That
did
was way after the fact.
AT&T.
Okay.
That was actually got everything transferred.
All right, guys. Well, I think that's what we needed. That's the value we needed because that's what her phone was worth minus any payments she made because, I mean, so did everyone present all the information? Because
ma'am.
I have everything I need to make a judgment at this point.
Yes.
Anything from you, Miss Lauren?
Well, I'm kind of confused how it's not lower because I did pay 150 in February and 150 in March. So
The reason why it's not lower is because your $150 payment wasn't all towards the phone. You were paying for the services, which included the line, the texting, whatever goes into it, plus some of it was incrementally going to the phone. So you weren't paying directly $150 to the phone each month. You were paying it to break up stuff.
okay.
So I hear what you're saying. I think that you did make payments from November, it's actually 6th based on the bill information, November 6th of, gosh, when was it?
2000.
Last year or this year? 2020, it can't even be this year. Sorry. That was a strange question. It was from 2024. So I do not doubt that you paid from November 6th, 2024. And I don't think there's any discussion that you didn't pay through March. I think we have some payments through March, so you did. Your phone value, if AT&T is saying that it started off at $1,599.93 and it went down to $861.09 in March, it shows that you made payments. You absolutely did. However, it also shows that your phone was not paid off in March. There is the statement from March, the last month that you were associated with the line, that there's still $861.09 remaining for the phone's value from that original almost $1,600. So I think that you absolutely do owe the $861.09 back to Mr. Holland because he he did bite that value. He still owes that on the phone. And then in addition, you went in and traded that phone for $490 and you used that amount because it says here that your change due was $0. So even though you went and traded in a $490 iPhone 16 that still had an $861 value on it, and you traded it in for an Apple iPhone 13 that had a $400 value in it, post-tax and any kinds of additional little increments, you ended up spending the whole $490 because it says that you also paid $338.30 for cab sup AT&T 42. I don't know what that is, but you also bought
charger.
something, a charger. So you got a charger that day too. And then it said prepaid activation fee $15. So you essentially ended up after taxes using that $490 credit that you received for the phone. That isn't a value that Mr. Holland got. That's a value that you took and you applied to a phone. So you essentially took a credit that Mr. Holland should have received and bought your own phone off of that. That wasn't your own money to use. And so based on that, you owe him $490 back as well. So based on the fact that the value of the phone post some payments made by you was $861.09, and then you traded in the phone for $490 and used up that value, you actually owe $1,351.09 on an Apple iPhone 16, not $1,599.93. That is what you owe. So, sorry that was convoluted. I did want to put in some of the money that Miss Lauren did pay. So that's not the amount that you're requesting, but she did make some payments that eventually did depreciate the phone value, but you do need to get the $490 back for the trade-in value because that wasn't credited to your account. It was actually used to purchase another phone. So at this time, I will be awarding the plaintiffs $1,351.09 for an iPhone 16 from AT&T. I will be awarding you $35 back for a filing fee. Did you have to pay any money to serve, Miss Lauren?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna put in 0 for that. I'm awarding you.
Well, I paid the $35
Yeah.
to file.
That's the filing fee that I'm reimbursing to you. You are receiving a 9% post-judgment interest rate, which means that if you do not receive